Hi and welcome. Today we're at the Fauquier Education Farm and we're here with Mr. Jim Hankins, the Executive Director of the farm. Jim, thank you for letting us come out today and visit the farm. We always appreciate coming out here. You have got a wonderful planting of sweet potatoes. That's what we wanted to talk about today.
Yep.
Can sweet potatoes be a good crop maybe for the home gardener?
Absolutely. You know, sweet potatoes are incredibly nutritious. They're really easy to grow if you just learn just a few basic things. One, it's a very warm season crop. I don't ever plant sweet potatoes until after Memorial Day. Another really important thing is that deer absolutely love the foliage. So you've got to exclude the deer. I have a 3D deer fence around this patch. And then, you know, remember that these are long vines, long sprawling vines, so you're going to need to put some kind of mulch underneath it, you know, so that you're not having a lot of weeds coming up.
Okay, so your planting date is when it's warmed up some.
Yes.
And how do you plant these? Are these seeds? Are they transplants? What do you do to put in the ground here?
I buy sweet potato slips, which is just a little sweet potato vine that has a few roots off of it. They'll bury a sweet potato and it will send up sprouts. Okay. Home gardener can do that themselves. You can do it in a flower pot at your own home and break off all of those little sprouts with a couple roots on it, stick it in the soil. It'll make a new big plant and, you know, give you 8 or 10 pounds of sweet potatoes easily.
That's great. You can also probably find those at a feeding
At a good garden center you can get sweet potato plants and sweet potato slips.
Okay. Now you're growing, it vines out like crazy. Are you growing these on hills, flat ground? Does it matter?
I have raised beds in here. It doesn't really matter. You can grow it in flat ground. It makes it a little more difficult to harvest because it is growing under the ground. Okay. So it's easy for me in these hills to come through and the sweet potatoes are right there.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you irrigate these? Do you see a need?
Oh, absolutely. They are both heavy feeders. They're going to want, you know, plenty of nutrition, plenty of compost or some fertilizer, and they're going to need to be watered if it is dry. You know, on those dry spells, you'll see these leaves will wilt. So. Okay.
Then when it's time to harvest, and you're harvesting when? Sometime in the fall?
These will sit here until late September. As long as the foliage is nice and green, okay, then they're still storing sugars in those sweet potatoes. So, you know, a lot of folks will wait until the first frost will actually blacken the plants. It, you know, will wilt them back some. But late summer, very late summer, early fall is when you harvest.
And whatever you can do to get some of this vine growth off the ground or away from the ground.
It's a big job. Before we harvest, we cut all of the vines and haul them off to a compost pile. And that's a lot of work, but then the sweet potatoes themselves, they're in clusters. They're easy to harvest.
Easy to harvest, okay. And lots of different varieties out there, I'm sure.
There are a lot of different varieties. These are all Beauregard sweet potatoes, okay, which is a dark orange flesh, dark red skin. It's a really sweet potato. We've had them up to 26 inches long. We've had some jumbo Beauregard sweet potatoes.
Wow, good for making pies maybe.
Good for making pies or sweet potato casserole for the whole family reunion, yeah. Okay.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for letting us come out to the farm today. We really appreciate that.
Always a pleasure.
Well, for more information about growing sweet potatoes, please contact your local county extension office and talk to a master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.